Knock, knock. Socy Dark Talks is back. Open the door and I will tell you 8 true terrifying events around me. Part 1. Who is Astaroth? On a stormy night, a flash of light emanated from the hospital room, where the cry of a newborn cut through the thunder. That was the night I was born, but it was not an ordinary event that my family or anyone else anticipated. The story of my birth has become a haunting legend, recounted through many generations in my family. It is said that at the moment of my birth, a strange light emitted from my body, causing all electronic devices in the room to shut down, including the lights and the heart monitor. The doctors and nurses were completely astonished, unable to explain this phenomenon. They even dared not touch me until the light disappeared. More astonishingly, the moment I stopped crying was also when my tiny heart ceased to beat. Afterwards, according to my father, everyone who came into contact with my blood coughed up black blood and emitted incomprehensible sounds, among which was a particular phrase that my father, an archaeologist with extensive knowledge of ancient languages, could hear most clearly. 𝐒𝐭𝐨𝐜𝐢𝐚 Astaroth. I did not understand what it meant, and my father could not write it down. The mystery behind those words remains a concern to me. My father, with his caution, kept everything strange that happened that night from everyone except my mother. I know that some supernatural entity has been attached to me since birth. My sister said that my family had invited several psychics to our house after I was born, hoping to find answers and protect me, but all were in vain because they could not see anything in me, not even life. The last psychic left with similar results, but before leaving she said, "Anselm, name the boy Anselm. That way, the Lord will see the child and protect him from evil spirits." Thus, my name Anselm Joseph came to be. Story 2. Mr. Bear. When I turned 1 year old, another event added to the strange legend surrounding my birth. On my first birthday, my parents gave me a teddy bear, a brown bear with eyes as black as jet, and a sorrowful smile etched on its fabric face. At first glance, I was captivated by this teddy bear, never straying from it night or day. However, the night after my birthday, strange occurrences began to unfold. My parents started hearing soft footsteps in the house when everyone had gone to sleep. The footsteps led them to my room, where they found the teddy bear sitting quietly beside my bed while I was deep in sleep. They didn't think much of it until they continued to hear other peculiar sounds on subsequent nights, as if someone was talking to me while I slept. One night, my mother woke up and decided to check. She found me awake, laughing and talking to the teddy bear as if it was responding. In the dim light from the nightlight, my mother swore she saw the teddy bear nod its head and its mouth open as if it were laughing. She was terrified, rushed into the room, and hugged me tightly while throwing the teddy bear out of the room. From that day on, the teddy bear was stored away in a cupboard in the attic, but the legend about it had only just begun. Night after night, my parents heard strange noises from the attic, as if someone was trying to escape. And each time I would start crying and couldn't be soothed until dawn. People in the village began whispering that the teddy bear was the relic of a forgotten spirit, which had chosen me as its only friend in this world. Concerned for me, my parents decided to destroy the teddy bear with fire, hoping to end all troubles. But the fire could not consume it. Instead, when the flames died down, the teddy bear reappeared, unscathed, sitting on the table in my room, its black eyes seemingly more defiant than ever. An eerie silence enveloped the house as my parents stared at the teddy bear, unsure of what to do next. They realized that conventional methods were ineffective against this supernatural entity. In desperation, they sought the help of a local psychic who could communicate with the spiritual world. The psychic conducted a ritual to appease the spirit, during which she asked the spirit inhabiting the teddy bear to come forward and communicate. In a moment, a cold breeze blew through the room, and a gentle whisper told the story of a lost soul that had been imprisoned and sought liberation through a child, me. The psychic explained that the spirit had no intention of harm. It only sought love and acceptance. To help the spirit move on, the psychic guided my parents in performing a farewell ritual, expressing gratitude and accepting the affection the spirit had for me, thereby helping it find peace. After the ritual, the teddy bear gradually lost its mysterious glow and returned to an inanimate state like any other toy. The teddy bear was then sealed away in the psychic's house, and I, too young to understand everything, was told by my mother that our family felt liberated afterwards. The nighttime crying ceased, and the atmosphere in the house became warm and peaceful. Story 3. Nowhere Forest. The third story. I at 8 years old. On a snowy night, as my family gathered around the fireplace watching TV, I suddenly stood up and began to walk soullessly. Under the influence of a mysterious force, I led my sister out of the house, stepping into the cold night where snow fell heavily. My parents thought we were just going out to play in the snow, so they continued to watch the music program intently. Each step I took seemed to be pre-drawn on a path with no end, leading us to a forest near the house that no one dared to venture into for a long time. My eyes were empty, no longer the bright eyes of a child, but now they contained an incomprehensible darkness. In the forest, I stopped in front of a giant ancient tree covered with moss and began to carve mysterious symbols into its trunk. My sister, still in a state of panic but unable to do anything else, followed closely, trying to call my name to bring me back. However, her voice couldn't penetrate the invisible wall that the force had created around me. At that moment, a strange light emanated from the symbols I had just carved, and whispers seemed to emanate from the tree itself. My sister, in a final effort to pull me out of that bizarre state, accidentally touched one of the symbols, causing an irresistible force to push her down, her head striking a nearby rock. I woke up in the darkness, not remembering what had happened, only to find my sister lying motionless in a pool of blood in the snow. In panic, I screamed for her, but my voice seemed to be swallowed by the eerie silence of the forest. Suddenly, calls echoed back from deep in the forest, not too loud but clear enough for me to hear. "Anselm, come here. Anselm, I'm here, your sister." It was my sister's voice, but she was still lying here. I looked down at the patch of snow where my sister had just been, but now there was only a clean white expanse. Looking back towards the forest, my sister was standing there waiting for me, but with a sinister smile. Fresh blood flowed beneath her feet with every laugh she let out. Waking up again, I was still lying in my sister's arms on the couch in the living room. It turned out to be just a sudden nightmare as I dozed off while watching TV. Story 4. The Devil's Invitation. I spent my high school years at a private school nestled among lush fields in England, where ancient walls whispered countless stories from centuries past. It was a place of beauty, yet shrouded in mystery, especially as dusk fell and the night slowly enveloped the tranquil scenery. One autumn evening, as the sunlight gradually faded behind the ancient trees, my friend Alex and I were tasked with staying behind to clean the classroom. Everyone else hurried off, leaving us alone with the silence of the old school. Initially, our work went smoothly. We cleaned, rearranged the desks, and shared stories about the upcoming holiday. But as darkness coalesced, the space around us started to feel strange. The wind blowing through the old window frames created peculiar sounds, like whispers. We began to hear gentle footsteps echoing in the hallway, even though it was clear that the class had been dismissed long ago. Alex looked at me with worried eyes. Then suddenly a door slammed shut on its own, startling us. Trying not to let fear overtake our minds, I suggested we quickly finish our tasks and leave. But as we prepared to leave, Alex suddenly stopped, standing still and staring at the empty wall. "Do you see that?" Alex whispered, his voice filled with terror. I followed Alex's gaze and saw nothing. Yet, Alex continued to stare intently at the space before him, as if seeing something I could not. I began to feel anxious, not just because of the eerie surroundings, but also due to the sudden change in Alex's behavior. Right then, the classroom lights started flickering incessantly, and the footsteps from the hallway became clearer.
"We need to go. Now,"
I said with a shaky voice, pulling Alex towards the door. But as we ran out of the class, I couldn't help but shiver when I saw the old portrait of the school's founder looking at us with a sorrowful gaze, as if he wanted to warn us of something. In a moment, Alex stopped and turned to look at me, his eyes no longer the ones I knew. They turned pitch black, deep as a space void, and from them emanated a deep voice, unlike Alex at all.
"It's time. You must return to hell."
Those words were like a cold wind sweeping through my soul, freezing me in place, unable to believe what I had just heard. But deep down, a part of me knew that wasn't Alex. It was something else, a dark entity that had found a way to enter and use my friend. With all the strength I had left, I screamed, "No, Alex, wake up! I am Anselm! God, please protect us!" And like a miracle, the classroom lights suddenly brightened again, and the footsteps slowly faded away. Alex collapsed onto the floor like an empty shell, quickly regaining consciousness as if from a deep dream. We hugged each other in fear and relief. No words were spoken, but our eyes said it all. We knew we had to leave this place, this school, before something else happened. We quickly gathered the remaining items and ran out of the classroom, never looking back. Afterwards, everything seemed to return to normal, but both of us knew that night had changed everything. We never spoke of it, but our horror story remains an indelible part of our childhood memories. Memories of an evening when the spiritual world and our world intersected, and we escaped from it.
Don't forget to like and subscribe our channel so you won't miss out any creepy tales and scary adventures in the upcoming videos. This is Socy Dark Talks. Stay curious and embrace the darkness.